at a crucial time in our nation whereby people really do have to come together. If we continue to divide like we do, God's word reminds us a house divided against itself cannot stand. We have to get to a point where we begin to utilize our own way of thinking and do our own research. It's time for us to stop allowing people like the media to direct our attention to what they want us to have it on. It wasn't but a few weeks ago that people were truly concerned about health care, and that should still be an issue in the United States of America. Yet we see a great division taking place whereby the people are starting to argue and fuss over things such as statues. And by all means, I understand the argument of what the people are presenting, and I understand the frustration. However, we cannot lose sight of the fact that things that affect us just as much, if not more, are those things that we call statutes, i.e. the laws that are made and the legislation that's going to affect us for generations to come. We have to get to a point where we begin to set our own agendas and not allow the media to direct our attention to the agenda they want us to have. Understand this as well. There is no way that the government can fix all of your problems. That's not the intent of the government. That's not the function of the government. And if the government were doing that, then people would be up in arms. We have to keep in mind that the government is around to do certain things and can legislate certain things. But I will tell you that the government cannot legislate common sense. They cannot legislate decency. And the government cannot legislate respect. However, the government can have an effect on legislation of things such as education, things such as fairness, things such as equality, prison reform, veterans care, etc. We have things that the government can legislate, and by all means, we must hold them accountable to legislate those things. But certain things have to be fixed at home, and the government cannot fix all of our problems. We have to get to a point where we have those legislators, whether it be at the state and or the federal level, being held responsible for legislating what they can legislate. It's time for us to look at what's taking place in America. It's time for us to come together regardless of what party we're with. Regardless of what our political affiliation may be, we have to come together. And I want you to consider this for just a moment. We are in a state of emergency. And if you've ever gone to an emergency room and you've had a true emergency, you, in most cases, did not care whether that person was African American, Caucasian, Asian. It did not matter. What you were concerned about, are they going to provide the best possible standards to fix, i.e. alleviate your situation? That was your concern. We have emergency here in America, and it's going to take people from all backgrounds, from all parties to come together in a bipartisan manner to fix things. Yet, we cannot lose sight once again of things that need to be fixed at home. It's time for us to start doing our part. It's time for us to be just as involved in political campaigns as we are in social campaigns and social movements. All of them play a role and all of them play their part. But we cannot lose sight of the fact that you matter, your voice matters, and we must begin to do things today that's going to affect generations to come. Keep in mind, our children are watching, our children's children are watching, and many generations are dependent on us to do the right thing. We must stand up today if we want to have a successful and encouraging tomorrow. And this is for generations to come. As they watch, the more that we begin to spew hate at hate, we're going to consistently produce hate. We have to get to a point where we share love, and only then can we begin to turn the tide against what we see as massive hate and division in this place that we call the United States of America. God bless.